Assalamu alaikum, Doctor. Good afternoon.
Assalamu alaikum, Saeed. Yes,
Do we have a WhatsApp group, Doctor, in this class?
yes. Other student create a WhatsApp group. You can
There is
ask
a
your
link.
friends, or you can message me later after class. I will share with you.
Okay, thank you so much, Doctor.
No problem. How many of you are master student here? Anyone? Master degree here? Nobody? Shujauddin, you are attending the class?
Yes, sir, I am
Your
attending the
master,
class.
yeah, your master
Yes, I am
student?
attending.
Yes?
Yes, sir, I am filling the form. You are saying, yes, sir, I am filling the form.
Okay. Okay, you master degree, right? What's your master major?
Yes, sir. Master of Construction Engineering, sir.
Master of Construction Engineering, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, you are in Malaysia?
But I am in Pakistan.
Oh, okay. You're not in Malaysia right now.
No, sir. I am in Pakistan.
Oh, okay. So I hope you come to Malaysia soon and join our class in person.
Inshallah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, I hope everybody answered the questionnaire. So we can start the class today. I just asked you to turn on your camera. Nobody did that. Siti Hamza, Siti Aisha, turn on your camera. Let's have a class face to face. It's not face to face, I know, but at least we can see each other. It's quite better when we can see each other. Imagine if I turn on my camera. You feel you are so far from me. That's the feeling when I see nobody here. So from next time, don't let me ask you. When you join the class, please turn on your camera. Okay, now let's start. Let's see what we have for today. Okay, sustainability. Let me tell you one thing before I start go through the PowerPoint. Sustainability is one of the subjects that's is very important in the way, not only in the world, in the science, but it's good if you want to do the project, final project. When you're looking for a topic for final project, sustainability is one of the very applicable, very actually important for the science, and you can find so many topics there because sustainability in one word, but the area that you can find as a topic for your project is unlimited, really unlimited. So today we discuss about sustainability in built environments. So we discuss about sustainability in built environment. But if you go to any industry, they have sustainability. For example, you want to produce honey, the honey madhu. I think I pronounced correctly in Malay, madhu. So even there you can do sustainability research. Even in that sector, you can still apply the sustainability. Milk, cheese, any food. Okay, you want to manufacture something in the factory, refrigerator, carpet, TV. You still can use the sustainability methodology, such as life cycle assessment. So this science is very big. It's not limited to the construction. So, but what you really need to learn here, which part, the part that is contributed to the industry, building industry. So, the chapter content, what we actually study here, sustainable development, sustainable construction, and the Malaysian perspective. Now, let's start about sustainable. You see some picture in your screen. It contains several words such as resource, solar, efficient, electricity, fossil, ecology, and the list is actually unlimited. Carbon, CO2 emission, circular economy, waste management, resource management. It's all inside the sustainability. Means if you pick one, you can do one project. Sometimes you can use two or three of these keywords and search about something. So from here we get this conclusion that sustainability is really big knowledge. So principle of sustainability. One thing I can share with you here, when we want to talk about sustainability or life cycle assessment, most of the time we talk about the emission that release from some certain material, from manufacturing some material. It's almost impossible. We we reach to the zero emission in current practice right now. But our purpose is to release or decrease the emission. We want to diminish the level of emission. That's our main purpose, right? Nobody expects you to produce something, manufacture something that has a zero emission, because that would be very hard. But you can choose the process, the material that have the lowest emission. What does mean a process? The process comprises so many things. For example, the process of manufacturing of some certain material in the factory. This process need electricity in the factory, otherwise nothing works, right? So, what is the source of electricity? Anybody know what is the source of electricity? Where the electricity come from?
Hydroelectric.
Hydroelectric. What else?
Petroleum coal.
Solar.
Burning, let me put it this way. Burning non-renewable material, petroleum, coal, anything, right? In the source and produce electricity. So burning this fossil fuel is produce high emission to the atmosphere, such as carbon emission. So how you want to stop it? That's beyond your power. You cannot control that. But in another level, in the factory, in the manufacturing, in the mill, you can choose the process that release the lower emission. Every step toward releasing less emission, you one step more close to sustainability. However, in some countries in Europe, they not purely use of the burning fossil fuel. They use other alternative solutions such as such as wind power, which in some country in the Europe is very famous, or the power of the sun radiation that they can produce electricity, or any other methods that calls or recognized as renewable energy. So if our source of electricity is renewable energy, automatically we can have more sustainable product. Do you know how many percent of electrical energy in Malaysia is provided from non-renewable material energy, like such as coal or any fossil fuel? Do you know how many percent? You can guess.
60,
60%. Much more. It's almost more than 90%. So in order to have more sustainable product, we need to focus uh, in material manufacturing process. So it leads to the more sustainability. So the basic definition, I think we already discussed this figure with you: environment, economic, and social. Let's have one example. When you want to manufacture some sort of, for example, material for building, it's not enough you assess the environment issue, such as carbon emission, but you need to assess the economic. When you have alternative product, 2, 3, 5, 6, you have concrete, steel building, wooden building, another one they call it LSF, if I'm not mistaken, lightweight steel, and the list goes on. Brick, blockhouse, even they can manufacturing house from bamboo. So it's not enough to just assess the environment, but economic and also the social impact of product. Every of these items have their own methodology. The method you assess the environment is different from the method you use to assess the cost or economy. Also, the social methodology is different from environment. So let me ask you something. When I'm talking to you about environment, what is cross your mind? What is that? What is the criteria of environment assessment?
everything we see in our life, our what we said,
Can you give me an example?
the area that we live in, outside.
Okay, but let me change my question. How we measure the environment? What is the criteria? For example, let me give you example. The first one, which is very important, is carbon dioxide emission. What else cross your mind?
Water.
Water consumption, you mean? Okay. What else?
Air.
Air, emission to air. But that's okay. I accept that. Anything else? Again, Mama, your voice is not clear. Again, please.
Oxygen dekat.
Oxygen. Oh, okay. Oxygen.
Trees.
Oxygen is not pollution. Okay. I'm talking about type of pollution. But good answer. Okay. Trees is not pollution. When we want to assess the environment, we have some criteria to show how much pollution can be produced, how we can assess that pollution. Take a look on the picture I share with you. Okay, I think you can see the screen, right? So take a look here. When we talk about the environment pollution, means carcinogen, the emission related to human you breathe, non-carcinogen, ozone layer depletion, land occupation, and the list goes on. You see, that's how we can interpret the results that affect the environment. And then in next step, like one, two, three, four, five, six of those criteria emission can conclude as the emission that affect the human health. The sum of these six criteria is the one affect the human health. Another few items leads to emission to ecosystem, climate change, and resource. So all these items you can see here or criteria is measurable. For example, non-renewable energy. You can find out exactly from manufacturing 1 cubic meters of concrete, how much impact you put on mineral extraction or non-renewable energy. Of course, the unit of every single criteria you see here is different. For example, the unit of carcinogen is different from global warming, also different from ozone layer depletion. But after normalize the result, you can have the result for human health. For example, 2.37, just example, okay? Effect on human health from 1 meter cubic of the concrete or steel or anything, aluminium, glass, everything is measurable. So when I'm talking about environment, that should cross your mind. See so many items. For the cost, we have only one criteria, which is cost. But for social life cycle assessment, let me I show you another figure. Okay, when I say social life cycle assessment can be measured, I mean if the table that you can see in your screen means then you have a different alternative. One, two, three, doesn't matter how many you have. The respect for freedom of the association, occupational accident, land use, the level of job creation means which material can create more job opportunity, use of local labor. In the end, you can get to conclusion which of the alternative is the best in the order of social impact. Okay, so everything is measurable. That's what I want you to understand here. Don't just read it and pass to the another slide because everything here is really meaningful. Okay, So, what is the sustainable development? Maintaining a delicate balance between the human need to improve the lifestyle and feeling of well-being. This is very, I think, comprehensive definition of the sustainable development. But in the detail, that's where we reach to environment, social, and balance. Actually, balance between environment, social, and the cost. And preserving natural resource and ecosystem. So this is very, I think, normal definition for sustainable development. You can read it later. And now, principle of sustainable development. The principle of sustainable development is have actually 5 sections or criteria. Living within environmental limits, achieving a sustainable economy, promoting good governance, and the rest, the next two you can read. Take a look. Okay. So actually, this sustainability can be also divided to economic, environment, social, we discussed already, and cultural. Okay, I think this figures is repeated many times in the last 3 weeks. But take a look. If you have any question, you can share with me with the class. We can have discussion about it. But one thing for sure, I want to repeat again. To achieve the sustainability, you need to make a balance between environment, economic, and social. Currently, most of the research study in the literature, if you search about environment impact, or the another hand, the methodology is life cycle assessment, or economic or cost, the methodology is life cycle cost. Normally, the studies focus only one or two of these criteria. Even for the environment assessment, sometimes they just limit it to carbon emission, dioxide carbon emission. They not cover all the figure I just show you. Okay, but in conclusion, need to be balanced between all these three. Okay, now uh, anyone could tell me which one is of those 17 criteria is the topic that we study and is more important for us? You can read one by one. Let me just make it a little wider. Which one is our discussion? Which one is actually very important right now? Number 11, sustainable city and communication, your friend said, okay. Any other opinion? Take your time, read one by one.
13, 14, 15.
Number what? Which number?
13. 14, 15.
13. Okay. You can choose one only, okay? Climate action. Any other opinion? Let me I write the question for you here so you can understand better. Okay, this is the question. You can see the question now. Now try to rethink. Which one of those 17 goals is most relevant to our topic, to the building, to the construction?
Sustainable, number 11, sustainable cities.
Number 11, sustainable cities and okay, communication. Anybody else? So far, I got some answers like number 13, 11, and few more. They're all our goals, okay? We need to achieve all of them. Like, for example, when we talk about non-poverty, this is related to social. Just the table I show you from one of my publications. Zero hunger also connected. But we want to see which one is more relevant to construction industry, to building industry. One more opinion and then we discuss. Anybody else have a different idea? Nobody? Okay. Uh, the more relevant for item here is number 3, good health and well-being. You want to make a best outcome for good health and well-being. When we talk about construction industry, maybe if our case study is the food industry, we goes for another one, okay? Or maybe it still work. Our main goal is still number 3, but for construction industry, our main important goal is number 3. Okay, good health and well-being. Anyone have opinion? Second opinion, you can share. If you're not active, you also can share your opinion.
I think quality of education is also important.
All of them important.
Yes,
More. All of them important. But
all of
the
them.
question here, yeah, which one is more important?
So, like doctor said, number three is the most important. Lah.
Number 3 is most important.
Okay, okay.
Now let's discuss about something else. Okay, now still here. So I think you're already familiar with each of these definition: economic or cost, environment, and social. So we don't have further discussion here. The climate change, you just notice, is one of many criteria for environment. Like one among 20 or 22, 23. Depends. The picture I show you here, this one is only one of the methods to calculate the environment impact. If we choose the method, this one they call it impact 2020 plus. If we choose to another method, maybe the number of this midpoint category here, the one I show you with the mouse here, maybe the number increase to another two or three or maybe five. Okay, so the climate change or global warming is only one out of another 20 or 20 something. So why the number three is important? You can see in these pictures what actually happened when the human activity, especially uh, contributed to construction, had effect on human health. Human activity, again, leads to pollution to the environment. Now, you can see there are some objectives here. In the left side of your screen has been highlighted by red color and black color. All those objectives is related to either economy, social, or environment. I want you to guess. For example, the first one, consider life cycle cost. Based on what you, based on your knowledge, you think the life cycle cost related to which of these objectives? Environment, cost, or social? Economic or social? You can share your opinion with class.
I think cost, economy related to
Economy, correct? Yes, completely correct. The second one, everybody please collaborate. Share your opinion. It doesn't matter if you guess right or wrong. It's important you think. That's what I want. You think. Reduce the energy required for transforming goods. Which one? Social, economy, or environment? Reduce the energy required.
Environment.
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 Thank you. That's correct. Very good. The third one, enhance. Take your time.
social.
Social. Anyone else?
Social and environment.
Only one. It cannot be two. Only
Environment.
one. Environment. Okay. Social. So far, we got two answers. Social, environment. Anyone else want to add something?
Environment, definitely.
Definitely. You sure? So much. Okay. Let's see. Oh, sorry. That's related to the social, not environment, because we talk about the stakeholder. Who is the stakeholder?
The
First, we
client.
have to understand
Participate.
the client. Okay. Let's assume this is a client. This is the owner. So this cannot be related to environment, but we have to provide the social impact satisfaction for the stakeholder. Okay, but very good for sharing your opinion. That's very good. Consider the next one. Alternative. Which one you think?
Economy.
Economy. Okay, let's see. Correct. The next one, consider the impact of planned project to air, water, soil. Which one you think?
Environment.
Environment. Yeah, this one easy, very good. Next one, support the instruments of international conventions and agreements.
Environment.
Social.
Social.
Social. Social. Okay,
Mm.
very good.
Yes, sir. Social.
Social. Okay. Definitely no economy. Okay. Yeah, correct. And promote development of appropriate. How about this one? Economy. You have three options: social and environment. Promote the yes.
Social.
Social,
Economy.
economy. Okay.
Economy.
Economy. So most of the answer is around economy or social. Definitely not environment. Let's see. Social. Okay. Good. Consider the influence of existing social framework. So I think this one so far everybody agree this one most easy to guess because it has social framework already there. Next one should be economy, right? Increase material efficiency. How about this one? This one you guess.
Material environment.
Environment. Okay. Anyone else? Environment. Yes,
Environment,
correct.
sir.
Yes, correct. Assess the impact on health and quality of life. How about this one? This is a bit challenging.
Social.
Social.
Social. Two social I got so far, that which is completely correct. Reduce material intensity. Consider economic impact. So this item is very easy. I think everybody can guess. Enhance materials, recyclability. How about this one? Enhance material, recyclability. How about this one?
Environment.
Environment.
Environment. Let's see. Correct.
Yes,
That's
environment. Yes, sir.
yes. This the next one also environment. Maximize sustainable use. Definitely environment. The next one economy because it already have cost within the word and promote public participation. How about last one?
Social.
Correct, completely correct. Thank you for everyone to collaborate. It's very good. So you already have the knowledge, you understood what is discussing about. Very good. So now let's have discussion about construction, sustainability construction. So what is the sustainable construction? I think we discussed about it previously, but you can read it later. Social, economic, environment. Well, construction issue. Okay, now let's stop here. Construction issue. First, uncontrolled waste management. This is one of the criteria that have a straight impact on environment issue because using the most sustainable material to build your building, like for example you choose brick, you choose concrete. Oh, before I go through this, I want to ask you something. Among the common building materials such as concrete, steel, brick, wood, block, which one you think is more sustainable and why? Which material is more sustainable in your opinion?
You mean sustainable from the cost or the
From the
method that
environment,
we
from the environment issue, not cost, not social. Which one is more environmental friendly environmentally? You have many options: concrete,
Brick.
bricks. Okay, you know why? Do you have any reason for your answer?
I think we can recycle it.
You can recycle the bricks.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Next student, which one is more environmental friendly? Brick, block, wood, steel.
Steel and high flex concrete.
Concrete is more environmental friendly. Why?
Yes, sir. So this is the side material used in the landscape.
I afraid I didn't hear you properly. Can you please repeat again? Oh,
So due to recycling content, yes sir.
because we can recycle the concrete, right? You said that
Yes
before.
sir. Yes sir.
Okay, okay, thank you. Thank you. Uh, Fidaldin, anyone else?
Still, sir,
Steel. Okay, why Muhammad? Why steel?
because I think is this can be recycle it. We can recycle it.
So far, everybody told me that their clothes can be recycled. Brick can be, concrete can be steel. But it's okay. Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else? No other answer? I think we missed something here, something very important. The most environmental friendly material is not concrete, it's not steel, and definitely it's not brick. Why?
They can renewable.
Because they are not renewable. But it's correct. It can be recycled, is correct, but they are not from renewable material. So which one is from renewable material?
Wood.
Wood. Yes, correct. The most environmental material for construction is wood, is bamboo. However, we not have any bamboo building in Malaysia. Maybe in some other country, maybe in Philippines, I think they have. But in Malaysia, we have wood. Is the most environmental material because the concrete or steel, you need to provide this raw material from the mine and you cannot replace it. Secondly, to produce the steel, to produce the concrete, huge emission will be released to the environment. But three, you just need to bring it to the mine and cut the wood. And plus, another important thing, when you plant a tree, have you ever heard that tree will absorb the dioxide from the air, dioxide emission, and release the CO2, release the oxygen. Have you heard that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. I think it's very familiar. Everybody know, but something that nobody knows, that when trees absorb the dioxide, carbon dioxide, it's not fail, it's not vanishing, it's not destroyed. It will keep inside its body as long as it's wood. Means you use the wood for the building or anything, the carbon dioxide will store inside the wood. If you use the wood for 50 years, the carbon dioxide is still inside the wood. Okay? So in the last stage, you have to choose the correct method to use of the wood to not let all those CO2 came back to the atmosphere. But still we can claim the wood is the most environmental choice for the construction. Let's go back here. That's just some information I share with you. So uncontrolled waste management. Why I talk about the wood and that CO2 that store inside, because it's related to the waste management. End of building life cycle, that wood considered as waste. It needs to be managed properly. That's not only for the wood, but also for steel, for brick, for any single material has been used inside the building, like gypsum, plasterboard. Okay, so the waste is very important. Depletion of natural construction material, accidents, which is related mostly to social, not environmental, and another one. So why construction? Why construction is so important? Because construction activity is actually construction industry is a long-term activity. By finishing the construction, we cannot claim the work done when we talk about environmental, because maybe construction period take 1 year, but 50 years or 100 years, people live inside that building. During that time, the energy consumption is one of the most important source of pollution to the environment. If in Malaysia we discuss the air conditioning, if we go somewhere else, like some country that have cold season as well, like Japan, they use the fireplace and air conditioner in throughout the year. So it never stop. The energy consumption literally never stop. And finally, the waste. That also have very high contribution to the pollution. So there are 3 stages: before construction, during construction, and they call it end of the life. Means the stage that building need to be demolished. Because when the building demolished, there are huge quantity of material need to be removed from the site. Either there are so many scenarios. It can be sent to landfill, just leave it there under the sun. It can be recycled, reuse, downcycle. It can be used as incineration, such as wood. They use it and they burn it to produce energy, like electrical energy. So many items. We not go through to actually the more detail, but I want you understand what's going on, what happened, why this is so important, why we should talk about the end of life. Okay, the detail is so many methods. Now, Let's take a look on this slide. Try to read this, okay? It's better you read, rather I read, because I want you to understand it properly. 40%. What is this 40%? 40% of the whole GHG or greenhouse gas emission merely related to the building is almost half. Okay, if I talk about the another industry like manufacturing of the car, for example, manufacturing, maybe that amount is not 40%, it's very low. Or manufacturing of the TV or carpet or sofa, that's very little. But for building is really huge. The second box, the middle one, top, building responsible for 40% of waste. That's also very huge amount. 12% of water. Air quality also you can see 5 times more pollution than outdoor air, and buildings utilize 1/3 of the whole resource in our planet. Only one industry consume 1/3 of the whole resource. That's why construction industry is very important to assess, to analyze, and evaluate in order environment issue. But I have another question. If environment issue is very important, why we need to assess the cost? Can we just focus on environment and ignore the cost? Just now, I have a 5 figure here to show you the environment is very important. The construction industry is very important when we talk about the environment, because it produces high level of waste, it produces high level of greenhouse gas emission, it consumes the huge level of resource. So can't we just focus on environment, forget about cost?
No.
Why? Give me a reason why we cannot.
We can focus on construction because
We can focus on
our construction effect on the pollution affects on the area that's between the working on it, and affects on environment also.
So can we ignore the cost?
The
No.
cost,
Yeah, why we cannot?
Because sustainable must include the all social, economy, and environment.
That's the definition of sustainability. Okay, but give me a reason why we cannot ignore, skip the cost. I want we have mutual understanding why cost is important.
Can I answer, sir?
Of course, Mohammed.
Because the consumer will not buy our product if it was not affordable for them. So we need to make it a suitable choice. With
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Yes. That's a correct answer. Let's I tell you in another way. You have 3 options. Option 1 is the most environmental choice, but is same time is most expensive one. Would you buy? Would you use that material in your building?
No.
Would you choose the most expensive that make you bankrupt? Of course not. You want the most environmental material at the same time, the most economic. That's the incentive behind having the economic, environment, and social. I hope everybody understand what we discussed. So now, okay, I think this we already all discussed about these slides. Okay, sustainable development goal. We also this is the 17 criteria in the previous slide we already had. And I think we discussed about it last week, right? This shouldn't be here, this slide. Now, concept sustainability in construction. The concept of sustainable construction govern three main pillars. So I think we keep repeating the same topic here, same issue. But let me know if you have any question, okay? Social well-being, we discussed about social. It's mostly related to the benefit to the worker. And also not only worker actually, it's not limited to worker, but the worker and engineer and whoever involved in that circle to manufacturing something. If you read the paper again, I just show you last time in early this section, there are so many items. So it's not limited only to the worker, because some of the question is very higher than worker level, such as, for example, the question contribute to GDP. The worker maybe not really have information about that, but engineer have. So principle sustainable construction. Actually, you can see here there are some items such minimize resource consumption, maximize resource reuse, use renewable or recyclable. Sorry. Use renewable and recyclable resources, protect the natural environment, create healthy, non-toxic environment, and the rest you can read. So principles, sustainable construction, implementation, procurement, site environment, material, selection, waste prevention, recycling, energy. Actually, when you want to do the research about the environment, it's not necessary, or actually it's not possible. You start from the first box on the left and end up to the down indoor environment quality, okay? Sometimes you only focus on the recycling, or you focus only on engineering, or engineering and material selection, because procurement is different story. It is inside sustainability, but procurement have their own process, purchasing material, mostly related to the construction management science, okay? But material selection, energy, recycling, waste is more contributed to the environment issue. So you can choose one, two, or maybe few items here if you want to assess the environment issue or sustainability. So this is the definition of the every item mentioned here. You can study later. However, I think we already disclosed most of them in the last few weeks. Now, okay. Okay, now let's talk about the Malaysian perspective about the sustainability perspective. So as you can see, every country around the world now tried and really pushed themselves to move toward the more sustainable issue. For example, they try to decrease their carbon emission by the year 2025 or 2020. This kind of the movement based on eliminate increasing the temperature of our planet. So Malaysia is not exception in this issue. They are trying to do their best to collaborate into the sustainability. There are some example of the building who claim that they constructed in the sustainability way, and you can read it later. It's when the house is called sustainable, there are items that's very important. The material has been chosen, and they try to use of the natural passive ventilation into the building. So they eliminate of using electricity and air conditioner. If the house have these two important items, it can called as sustainable building. There are many technique, many strategy to achieve this science. Actually, this in this picture in the top left, I I was lucky to be in there in the zero energy office. It's around the KL. They not only use of photovoltaic sun radiation to produce electricity, but also they the roof designed the way that collect the rainwater to use inside the building for occupants. Another two, I'm not sure if you're familiar. Malaysian, maybe our friend Malaysian maybe already been there or they have information. Either way, if you don't know where is this, you can always Google and find out. Anybody from KL here in the class?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Is it any of this building familiar to you?
I've seen it before.
You don't remember? Okay, no problem. You can Google if possible. You can visit the buildings and get more information why they call themselves as zero building or sustainable building. Okay, please make your attendance, and if somebody have a question, please share with me and class.